Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster in this new fantasy horror drama from writer-director Bomani J. Story. Focuses on the story of a young woman, Vicaria, played by Leia DeLeon Hayes, who is doing these very dark and problematic experiments to overcome death after the death of a brother, and trying to bring him back and turning into a monstrosity that causes so much pain and suffering. And if you think this sounds a little familiar, because this is indeed a modern retelling of Frankenstein. And the Frankenstein monster that is created in this film is dangerous, it's powerful, and it's altogether just a manifestation of good intentions but dark devices. And this film definitely lands on the horror elements, as there are some shocking and brutal elements throughout this film. But it isn't even just what this monster does to people. It's the people who interact with this young woman that pushes her to such desperation to do such things like this. You see the moment of this young man dying, and it is horrifying to watch. And you're just sitting there with a front row seat. You're paralleling the front row seat that Vicaria has as she's sitting there watching this, and it's uncomfortable, as it should be. There's a horrible interaction between her and a teacher that leads to like straight up abuse from a police officer at one point earlier in the film, and you're just sitting there like, how does this even happen? And it is disturbing and dark. This does not pull punches. It does not try to sugarcoat tensions in terms of racism. It dives headlong into it, and then utilizing those themes to lay that groundwork and the basis for this horror film. And it's one of those kinds of things where like it pushes us, it pushes our boundaries, and Hayes does a fantastic job in her performance, and so does Amani Summer, who plays her younger sister, who he's a creepy kid in this movie. There's some really impactful moments, and there's horrible, brutal, and just devastating elements to this story, and the consequences of trying to go to such great lengths to overcome death and do things that are pretty unnatural. And this film is just a sledgehammer. Now, you could tell it has a smaller budget, and some of the technical elements are a little muddled and not the clearest, and doesn't feel as refined from like a technical filmmaking perspective, but it's visceral, and it leans into those elements, and it delivers an experience that's gonna shake you, and you're not gonna be able to shake this experience for a long time afterwards. I can guarantee you that. It's still shaking me, and it's the next day. Don't like it. But it's a really impactful, really dense and layered horror film that it has elements, like I said, where it feels under budget. Maybe some of the performances don't feel the strongest, but there's a rawness to this film. It's like an open nerve, and you feel that from start to finish. But those are my thoughts on The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.